Are you ready to be inspired, empowered, and uplifted? Get ready for a brand new show that celebrates the incredible journey of women everywhere.
From the comfort of your home, interact with us through our YouTube and Facebook channel, Jesus Prevails Church, for an hour filled with inspiration, wisdom, and faith. It is a platform where we delve into stories of remarkable women who blossom and thrive through grace, beauty, and modesty.
As we embark on this incredible journey together, we draw inspiration from Proverbs 31:10-12. In a world where noble character is a rare gem, there shines a woman who embodies the essence of Proverbs 31.
Join us every Tuesday from 8 p.m. as we embark on an interactive session like no other.
Introducing the Woman of Excellence Show. Join us for the Woman of Excellence Show.
Because you, my friend,
are a woman of excellence. Are you ready to be inspired, empowered, and uplifted? Get ready for a brand new show that celebrates the incredible journey of women everywhere.
From the comfort of your home, interact with us through our YouTube and Facebook channel, Jesus Prevails Church, for an hour filled with inspiration, wisdom, and faith. It is a platform where we delve into stories of remarkable women who blossom and thrive through grace, beauty, and modesty.
As we embark on this incredible journey together, we draw inspiration from Proverbs 31:10-12. In a world where noble character is a rare gem, there shines a woman who embodies the essence of Proverbs 31.
Join us every Tuesday from 8 p.m. as we embark on an interactive session like no other.
Introducing the Woman of Excellence Show. Join us for the Woman of Excellence Show.
Because you, my friend,
are a woman of excellence. Are you ready to be inspired, empowered, and uplifted? Get ready for a brand new show that celebrates the incredible journey of women everywhere.
From the comfort of your home, interact with us through our YouTube and Facebook channel, Jesus Prevails Church, for an hour filled with inspiration, wisdom, and faith. It is a platform where we delve into stories of remarkable women who blossom and thrive through grace, beauty, and modesty.
As we embark on this incredible journey together, we draw inspiration from Proverbs 31:10-12. In a world where noble character is a rare gem, there shines a woman who embodies the essence of Proverbs 31.
Join us every Tuesday from 8 p.m. as we embark on an interactive session like no other.
Introducing the Woman of Excellence Show. Join us for the Woman of Excellence Show.
Because you, my friend,
are a woman of excellence. Are you ready to be inspired, empowered, and uplifted? Get ready for a brand new show that celebrates the incredible journey of women everywhere.
From the comfort of your home, interact with us through our YouTube and Facebook channel, Jesus Prevails Church, for an hour filled with inspiration, wisdom, and faith. It is a platform where we delve into...
Hello, good evening, our viewers. Welcome to the Woman of Excellence show. It's good to have you on this show. Karibuni sana. My name is Miriam Wambua.
And my name is Suzzane Calisto. It's always a pleasure to have you here. How are you?
I'm good, so how have you been?
Nimekuwa salama. Adulting, midterm imekuwa je. Tumekuwa na siku nne za midterm.
You've had a crazy week, right?
Mimi nimekuwa na mambo. Nilikuwa mke nyumbani.
Wanasema mke mwema anatoka kwa Bwana.
Niliosha vyombo. Nikaosha ukuta.
Ulisugua kusugua. Na gloves ama na mikono tu.
Uko mke nyumbani uvai gloves. Naharibu.
Uvai gloves.
Kuchoma, unachoma.
Unafunga leso na
ukirudi kwako labda tu ndio unaweza vaa gloves. Unasema nails.
That's great.
And you, how are you? How was your midterm? How was your long weekend?
Imekuwa tu poa. Relaxing. When you're to relaxing mode. Relaxation mode.
Must be nice.
And the season, you see kuna kamvua hivi. Mwanzo unajua kamvua kakianza tu kidogo hivi kama ulikuwa unachoka nje unarudisha mlango. Yes, unalala. Unasema kunanyesha. Mtu akikupigia simu unasema lakini si kunanyesha. Utokeze kunanyesha.
It's raining.
Yes, it's raining.
Yeah, the weather is already saying what you're supposed to say.
Yeah. You're taking advantage of the season.
Kabisa. That's nice. That's nice. We thank God for the rain as well.
Kabisa. So karibuni tena, please join us on Facebook as Jesus Prevails Church and also on YouTube as Jesus Prevails Church. Karibuni. Comment.
Yes.
Tell a friend to tell a friend. Please also share with your friends. Let us engage.
Yeah.
And I hope show ya leo Su. Najua umejipanga kabisa.
Wachoche kabisa. Wachoche waone. Wachoche wakuje.
Umejipanga kabisa.
Karibuni. So today we are talking about something rather we do every day. Tukiamka, tukiketi, tukilala, tukitaka ama tutaki, tunajipata tu tunaifanya. So today we are talking about communication. And mainly what we are talking about, it is we all know communication and we all do it. But we want to know what makes it very important and yet very difficult.
Yes. And you still are talking about that verse in the book of Colossians.
Hata kabla tufikia hiyo verse, nataka to define communication. Communication natumaanishi stand up, sit down. Ati
Apana. I think the communication you're talking about is how we express ourselves. How we express ourselves in times of joy, sadness, the feelings,
the ideas tunaji express. Unajua si wa Kenya tuko na terms. Kuna same unasemanga nasikia sijui aje.
Nasikia huwezi explain.
Na hapo Kenya dictionary nasemanga huyo mtu amesota. So
ukisema nasikia aje.
Ukisema nasikia sijui aje unajua kuna shida ya pesa. So it is for you to if you are used to that slang, then you will understand that person completely. Akikwambia tu hivyo unajua today leo sio siku ya kumpeleka sijui wapi ati atumie pesa.
So you pay another way of communicating, but sasa indirect. So we'd say communication, as much as nasema, is an expression of joy, love, ideas and everything. Also there's a direct communication that you can get it right, na kuna ile indirect ambayo lazima ujue kiundani.
Lazima uelewe. There's a place of understanding. So our question to you, our viewers, is what makes communication to be difficult yet important?
Very true.
Yani ni nini inafanya mazungumzo? Ni mazungumzo?
Yeah, mazungumzo. Majadiliano, mazungumzo.
Hiyo. Ni nini inafanya mazungumzo iwe kitu ya maana sana? Lakini pia ni nini inafanya mazungumzo yawe, mwalimu wa Kiswahili, mazungumzo yawe
magumu.
Magumu kufanyika. Ni nini inazuia mazungumzo mazungumzo kufanyika? Yeah. And I think sasa kuna hii verse tulikutana nayo mimi na Mish. Na it says, nataka niwasome, iko Colossians chapter 4 verse 6. Na inasema, let your speech always be with grace, seasoned with salt, that you may know how you ought to answer each other. Umesikia?
Kwa speech being seasoned with salt.
Kuna amplified wale kizungu rahisi inasema, let your speech at all times be gracious and pleasant, seasoned with salt, so that you will know how to answer each other. Yani hii verse inasema,
that verse is so deep, by the way. Lakini how many times our speech seasoned with salt? Tuanzie tu hapo.
Actually that verse sounds very easy to do. Yani inasema tukue tunaongea kitu iko kama tuko our words to be seasoned with salt.
Maneno iko na ladha, iko na thamani, not just useless. Yani tunasemanga maneno tunatoka tu kuropokwa, they kuropokwa.
So imagine sasa inasema kila wakati unaongea unafaa kuongea ukiwa seasoned with salt na ikuwe imejawa na neema, so much grace. Na zaidi ya hapo itakusaidia kunijibu. Kwanza verses zingine inasemanga it will impart you with grace. Yani mwenye anasikia atasikia ni kama amepata neema kupokea maneno yako.
Na hiyo ni rahisi.
Kila saa tukiongea, that's what you're supposed to be doing.
But it's so unfortunate that tunawanga driven na emotions. Unajua it's either you start una make conversations, either uko na raha ama umekasirika. Yani lazima there's always an emotion behind the answer or the communication.
We have made our emotions, our words to be dependent on our emotions.
Very true.
Tukikasirika kuna vitu tutasema. Tukisota kuna vitu tutasema. Tukifurahi kuna vitu tutasema. Tukilala kuna vitu tutasema. Yani we have made it constant. Yani kuliko kitu yenye inasemanga out of the abundance of the heart. Mdomo yako ndo inaongea, kile uko roho ndo inatokeanga kwa mdomo. But sasa Mungu anasema zaidi hapo, roho yako basi ijawe na neema. Ndio maneno yako pia ijawe na neema. Si tu maneno tasteless.
Nayo unajua si rahisi. Most of the time unapata ni emotions. And it's, for me I think inakuanga ngumu. Imagine mahali penye you are expected to speak a blessing, for example, kwa mtu mwenye amekukasirisha. It's not easy. Unasemaga leo sina moods. Leo sijisikii kuongea. Leo let me not speak today, please. But you see the Bible is saying tujawe na neema. So that hata kama umefika ile point yenye you feel like you're not supposed even to talk, or asira imekuja and that you're supposed to speak in calmness. Unajua mwanzo anger. People struggle with anger, especially in terms of communicating. You want to communicate something, unataka kuongea, lakini ile asira iko ndani yako haikuruhusu. Unasikia unachemka.
Kwa Kristo tunasumbuliwa na hasira sana.
Sana. And you see hata okay, also in ministry, unajua when you are serving and maybe preaching, this is communicating. So unapata, if your heart is not full of grace and your words are not seasoned with salt, unaharibu kila kitu.
Unaharibu. Na ni ukweli kwa sababu unajua maneno ni kama they're like seeds you're planting. And every time you speak you're planting seeds. Wanasemanga the tongue has the power to bring life and death. So unapanda maneno, unapanda na labda saa zingine sometimes you plant seeds that are full of life, and sometimes you plant seeds that are full of they will bring forth distraction. So to you, our viewers, because I can see we are viewing and we are present, I will tell us what makes communication
very difficult. Yes.
Nakumbuka nikifanywa premarital counseling, kitu tunashinanga tukiambiwa, and even to anyone who is even watu wameishi kwa ndoa for years, and people even who are new in marriage, unashinanga wakiambiwa communication is important. Communication is important. Inamaanisha hapo kwa marriage communication pia ni ngumu. It's something that comes as a challenge also. Ndio maana unashinanga ukiambiwa ukirudiliwa kila wakati. So I would tell us, why do you think communication becomes difficult?
And yet you know very well it is very important.
Na unajua ni necessary. Lazima muongee. Sasa utatuambia why you think it is difficult.
Very important. Sorry.
Yes.
Yeah. Sorry.
It's what you meant that.
It's communication.
He doesn't want to communicate.
Tunasema communication is very important, by the way. Very, very important. But for me, I think one of the reasons why tuna feeling you want to communicate, but una find it difficult to you're always afraid of the outcome, the results. Unaona, you feel like how will this person react if I communicate, if I tell them this, how are they going to react? So you realize even in family, unaona badili tu kumwambia wacha tu ninyamaze. So we have replaced communication with silence, and we feel nikinyamaza hiyo story imeisha. But sasa hapo ndo makosa, because now you are building mountains on top of the other, pole. So communication is something that should be kitu yenye you're supposed to choose, as in communicate. Because for me I feel like keeping quiet is not an answer. as much as we always opt to keep quiet, there's a way you can communicate. Kuna venye tu unaweza ongea, however difficult that is. Of course, ni difficult. That's what you're saying. It's difficult, but yet very important. Because unaona ukinyamaza, kuna vitu utakuwa uja solve. But you're saying at least still bado ucommunicate.
Okay, when you're afraid of someone's reaction, it is also very hard to communicate.
Very true.
Yeah, and even to our viewers, I know there's something you've never communicated. Because unajua venye huyu mtu ata react kutokana na kenye unaenda kusema. Inaweza ku bring to a very difficult position. But I think if you sit down with yourself na uone hiyo kitu wenyewe, it is necessary to be said. It is important that you master courage.
Very true.
It is important that to master courage kabisa. Useme hiyo kitu. I grew up when we were being told, speak your voice, speak your mind, even if your voice is shaking. Yani sema tu. Sema tu. Hata kama utasema ukilia, we sema. Cha muhimu ni you have communicated it. If it is necessary and if it is a something to say, hata kama the reaction might be bad, it is important to speak it out. Because you might, hiyo kunyamazia inamaanisha wewe ndo na una-enable hiyo kitu kama ni kitu inafaa ku address, unaendelea kuiongeza kwa sababu hiyo party nyingine does not know what you're going through. So at the end of the day you end up enabling something that you are not supposed to. And in your mind you know it is wrong. So it is important to speak up. Even if your voice is shaking, speak your mind.
Even as you speak up though also, you also need to have wisdom. You don't you just speak everything every time everywhere.
Tunasema ikiwa necessary, with courage. When it is necessary to be spoken, ni muhimu kuisema. Usijidhalilishe, usijidunishe. Usijidunishe, because these things are necessary to be said. If there are things that need to be addressed,
let them be addressed.
Yes, kabisa.
Speak out. Saibu tuambie hapo kwa nini, what is your fear? Do you find communication to be easier for you? Do you struggle to communicate? Ni nini inafanya unashindwa communicate? And you are saying communication is very, very important. So what are your struggles? Nini inafanya unashindwa communicate an issue? You know you have it, but you feel like istasema, ama you feel like, tunapotanga watu wanasema nani si kumwambie. Yaani mtu akwambia si wewe umwambie, hapana wewe nenda ukamwambie. Unaona? Yaani hata haujiamini that you cannot be able to deliver a message or communicate to someone. You feel like you need to use another person to deliver a message.
And that is
though there's kuna pahali it is very important.
Yes.
Na kuna pahali wewe mwenyewe as an individual unakuwa expected kwenda ku stand up and communicate. Because when you look at our marriage setup, most of the time unapata we will not communicate sana to our spouses, but now we prefer to go to, let's say, a third party like a counselor. But the sad thing is ukishafika kwa counselor, your partner anasilezo vitu hapo mara kwanza kwa like
mbona
hujaniambia.
That's true.
Yes, because you feared his reaction ama her reaction. You felt like hii inahitaji another person ndo niseme. And yet maybe ni kitu yenye ungeongea mngemaza hiyo story kitambo.
That's true. Because expressing yourself is important. But also the way you approach it ina depend on a lot. Juu zingine unaweza approach a person to communicate with them, but instead of approaching them you attack them. Wanaeka defense. Already your communication iko cut down.
Imekuwa na issue.
Juu ushaenda ni kama umeenda ku-attack. Na yeye akainua nini mwamba yake ajifiche. So there's no way you are willing mta exchange anything. And I think as we were talking about reactions, because you're the reaction moja watu kuwa defensive mkiongea, we were talking about listening. How listening is important as a reaction when someone is communicating to you. Hapa tuongee kama sisi peke yetu ndio wa kuongea. Pia sisi ni wa kuambiwa. So ukiongeleshwa na mtu, listening is important. Before you assume, before you try and useme misha ananiambia hivi kwa sababu ya nini na nini. Sikiza
kwanza.
Listening is a very important skill. And even the Bible has taught us to listen. And hapa communication si communicating pia tu na mtu hata we mwenyewe ni vizuri ujisikize vile unasikia kabla uende useme mimi hata nataka nini hata sitaki nini sikiza kwanza nini inakusumbua.
You hear people ask you what do you want as a person,
what do you want nini imekuumiza hata by the way saa zingine ujuangi nini imekuumiza juu umelia umelipuka umefanya nini ukiketi chini unaweza pata hata ilikuwa huyu ilikuwa ule wa jana mwenye aliniongelesha
not really zimetolea hasira another person.
That's very true. So it is important to listen when someone is speaking to you. I can see our comments are very active. Regina John and Miriam Nyasa are watching. Karibuni
sana.
From Ina Nduku, Karibu. We're glad to see you. And Nancy says, hi Nancy, it's nice to see you.
Hi Nancy, good to have you.
She's saying people don't like the truth so many times. Truths are not taken positively, making it difficult to communicate. That is very true.
Very true. They say that ukweli inauma.
Ukweli inauma. Ukweli ni chungu.
Na why inauma? It's true. Why inauma sana?
But I also believe venye unabeba hiyo ukweli kuambia huyo mtu hiyo ukweli.
How you present that hiyo ukweli.
The vehicle you use determines a lot venye huyo mtu atabeba hiyo ukweli. Juu kuna saa tunasemanga wacha nimwambie asikie hivyo. Si ni ukweli. Acha nimdunge na hiyo asikie. Hizo low blows. You give someone a low blow for them to listen to you. But in the real sense that can either only intimidate them or just there's something we used to say when I was in school. Tunasemanga truth without love is brutality. But truth with love is honest. Truth with love, honesty with love is No, I think the mistake.
The one you said first made sense.
Truth without love is brutality.
Yes.
But truth with love is honesty. So, hiyo kusema ukweli, hiyo kukuwa honest has to come with a lot of love. But hiyo kusema without love, ndo asikie hivyo, hiyo ni kukuwa brutal. And that's not, I think it's even a sin.
Yeah, how tunaipresent hiyo ukweli. Ujue huwa inauma kwa sababu venye umeambiwa. But ukiambiwa kwa uzuri, hakuna venye itauma. You feel so good and you feel like it's a correction. You say you spoke it in love and now I get it.
That's true.
But sasa kuna venye unaweza ambiwa uende useme I know, like for example, let me say the issue of body shaming. Naona mtu anaweza, maybe you are also struggling with weight, and then someone comes and tells you directly like, hey, you see that one hurts. You know,
it hurts.
It really hurts because
it hurt for that person.
It hurts because ndio najua ni ukweli nimenona, but there's a way you could have told me that I will not feel that way. You can tell me, hey, Mish, you're looking good, you've put on some weight. Yeah, maisha ni
yes. Hata mimi nimeona hata mimi nimeongeza. You know that will not affect you.
It will not affect me, but when you come direct to me and tell me, hey, wewe unajiachilia, you see that one really hurts.
Ni kama uko overweight. Oh,
you know, that one really hurts. So how you say the truth huwa ina matter sana.
Yes. How the way you carry that information is very important.
Very, very important.
Thank you, Nancy. From Mina Nduku is saying, sometimes communication becomes difficult because you feel like if I express yourself, you may not be understood.
Yes.
And that is very true.
You are talking, remember we talked about misunderstanding.
Actually, that was one of our points.
Yes.
Misunderstanding of intention. Yani, nia yangu ya kusema hivyo haikuwa mbaya. This was my intention. And I think ndio tufike hiyo point ya kutokuwa misunderstood, lazima tufike point ya kutrust. Ya kutrust that kitu yoyote Mish anaweza niambia, it cannot come from a bad place.
Very
because
true.
I trust Mish, the intentions of Mish towards me ni nia nzuri. Mish hizi niambia kitu kama hiyo ubaya. So that makes me not misunderstand her. Inafanya ngani nirudi kwa
useme na mbona ameniambia hivyo,
na mbona ameniambia hivi, hebu kuja unielezee hiki kitu tena juu ni kama inani changanya. So it is important to trust the person you are communicating to. Ndio ukue na huyo mtu mwenye unaongelesha akutrust, aelewe nia yako kwanza. The intention of your heart is pure before you tell them anything. Otherwise ukienda tu na ujui kama anakutrust, hakuna venye
atakumisunderstand. Very true.
Atakumisunderstand kabisa.
That's because sometimes unapatanga unaweza kuja ume approach, let's say there's something you want to communicate to me, but because we rarely even talk, so unajua ukienda naweza sema why would Sue come and tell me such a thing? I never talked to her. Why would she tell me such a thing? What was going through her mind akikuja? So instead of me taking that positively, naanza nao kuanza kujiuliza maswali. Agenda yake ni nini? Mbona ameniambia? Kwa nini ameniambia? Yeah, but like just when unasema, it's also at a point of trust is very important when you are communicating.
Na pia hiyo ya kukua misunderstood pia inakujanga na a point of breaking boundaries, because I will misunderstand you if you've jumped your boundary. Like wewe ni nani kuniambia kitu kama hiyo? So I will definitely misunderstand you even if you meant well. So I think it is important to
also know the boundaries.
I think hapo ndio inafikanga place you tell someone it is not in my place for me to say such a thing. Si kwa nafasi yangu nafaa kukuambia kitu kama hii na hii na hii. Maybe nitume mtu niambie wewe uko rafiki ya Mish, enda ukamwongeleshe mwambie hiyo story, labda atakusikiza. But sasa if you're jumping a boundary, itakuwa ngumu.
I think also our viewers wanaweza relate, especially what you've said. Wewe unakuanga rafiki ya nani, please go and talk to her. It's because this person ana respect boundaries. Anajua if I came to you, Sue, and asked you something, maybe concerning your family or your mom, see, I have crossed boundaries. But you see, if I can tell maybe your friend who is so closer to you, that one you'll understand. But for you'll ask, hey Mish, since when did you get concerned with my home and everything? That one will have crossed boundaries. Yeah, so when you are communicating, at least jua boundaries. Usiende uvuke, hapo utakuwa misunderstood.
Utakuwa misunderstood immediately. Hata hakuna mtu ataangalia nia yako ilikuwa nini, ilikuwa nini. Hakuna. But if the bedrock penye mtu wangukia ndo asikuwe misunderstood, ni mtu trust, kukuamini, kujua mimi hakuna kitu siwezi kuambia wewe. Kwa hivyo hiyo kitu inakusumbua, hebu nieleze vizuri, ama hiyo kitu unaniambia inanichanganya, hebu nieleze vizuri. There you cannot be misunderstood. And that's why even for relationships and even marriages, it is important to have trust. So that hata ukiambiwa nini na your partner, uko like, he cannot tell me this because he doesn't like me. I trust that he wants the best for me.
Just like even our parents. You know, our parents, for me, I feel like boundaries zao haziko, hawana zile boundaries because hawa ni watu wametulia. They know us zaidi. To some extent, but I feel them, kuna what they can tell us that our own sisters or friends cannot tell us. Matters concerning our careers, marriage and everything. Our spiritual authorities wanaweza tuambia because wao wako in that position. But so now, not anyone can just come into your life and start asking you, hey, why are you not this and this?
That is very important. Thank you, Fromina, for that comment. Nancy also says, do you think at times silence, I think she meant silence, is the best form of communication? Wow. Do you think that silence is the best form of communication?
I was telling you, people say silence is the best weapon. And unakumbuka that song yetu tunaimanga, nifundishe kunyamaza.
Yes, but we have been looking for scripture for that song.
I think I was like, is this really in the Bible? You know, I think me, I'm also a victim of that song. When I'm feeling like, I sing along that song. Nifundishe kunyamaza. But you see, for me, I'll feel like not every time silence is the best communication. Not every time. Sio kila mahali. There's a place you are required to talk and a place you are required to be silent.
Yeah.
Especially if I'm communicating to you, if you are listening, when you are listening, you be silent. I think that is communication. Because if, let's say I'm communicating and you're communicating, there'll be no communication there. There'll be an argument. So silent kuna mahali ina make sense.
Well, I think the intent, me nakwanga very much on the intent
of the silence.
Of the silence. Kwa sababu kuna saa, we married people do it. When unasema as a weapon, yani nitatumia kama silaha, nitakupunish wewe. Uliniambia hivyo, sikuongeleshi. There's a time we use it as a weapon. So if that is the intent, I think it's wrong.
It's wrong. Kabisa.
But if the intent is to stop yourself even from sinning first, I think it's also the right thing. Because if you know, hapa nikiongea nitaharibu, wacha ninyamaze. Even the Bible at the same time also says, a fool, it is important for a fool even to keep quiet. Ataka ni kama ako wise. In the book of Proverbs. Look at me.
Yes, Proverbs 18, yes.
We're saying it is important for you to keep quiet even. Sometimes you may end up looking wise when you even don't know.
Very true.
So ni muhimu. Also, I think nimekumbuka ingine sahi, John the Baptist akienda kuzaliwa. Ilibidi baba yake akuwe bubu. Kwa sababu, I don't know why God struck his mouth. Because he doubted on what God had promised, because probably his mouth would have
broadcast,
would have even reversed something that was to happen for his family. So it is sometimes the intent is important.
Intentions really matter.
The intent in that case, then God stopped the father to John the Baptist. It stopped him from sinning, right? At the same time, it's hiyo kunyamaza and making you seem wise, as the Bible says, it stopped you from embarrassing yourself.
Very true.
So ni muhimu kujua the intent of your silence. Or maybe it will look like you're disrespecting, so you had rather keep quiet.
But sometimes also silence is also looks rude. When maybe unauliza kitu na ujibu, that one sounds rude.
That is rude.
So Nancy was saying sometimes it's good to be silent, but the intention, tunasema the intention of being silent ndio ina matter sana. Why are you mbona umenyamaza? Because when unasema people can keep quiet, na hiyo anga ina boil. Nafikiria amenyamaza tu hivi. Hasa inaendelea tu kuchemka, inachemka. So with just a little trigger, then they blow up. Unakumbuka tu ukiwa 2 years venye ulimfanyia, ukiwa 10 years alafu nini.
That's trauma.
It blows up. Why? And you'll be like, guy, at 2 years, why didn't you tell me when you were 2 years? And then we are 10 years, why didn't you tell me? I kept quiet. Why did you keep? Sikuwa nataka maneno. So now the silence inaendanga ikipaili, then it blows up. So just speak when it's necessary. Speak. Now, what you're like we are saying in marriage, communication is very important. Na tuna falling victim of silence sana tukifikiria. That is the best weapon. That is the best thing you are doing. But I think silence in relationships, whatever it is, whether it's marriage, friendship, is it not a good best weapon?
Don't use it as a weapon.
No, it is not a best weapon.
When you use it as a weapon, if it can fan the wrong things, inaweza kuwa upepo ya kufan the wrong things ziwake, ama ya kuzima the right things. So you have to be careful. I can see Regina John is saying people don't like to listen to each other. That's why communication becomes difficult. And that's true. That's what we are saying. It is important to learn how to listen. Wengine wetu sema, nimekusikiza hata sitaki, haujasikiza.
Umeongea sana nyamaza.
Wewe umeelewa ile umeamua kuelewa kwa akili. But listening is keeping quiet and truly letting that person speak. Si wewe uzime masikio useme, acha tu aongea malize, hapana.
But sometimes you say that, wacha aongea malize. Ataongea? Wanasemanga watasema
watachoka.
Watasema watachoka, usiku watalala. That's not communication.
That is not communication. It is important to listen. To listen. Na tumesema there are even different levels of listening. Tunasema there is sympathy and there is empathy at the same time. So when you listen, you can show empathy. Tukasema empathy ni kujieka kwa miguu ya huyo mtu. Umuelewe kabisa vile anasema.
At least umsikize, urelate na story yake.
Urelate na story yake, useme ulisikia hivyo. Sasa uliamua kufanyaje? Na akakufanyaje tena? That is empathy. You're putting yourself in the feet of that person. But when you say now sympathy ni ile huruma, kumwonea huruma, kusema gari yako ilianguka, akipole, I hope utaweza tengeneza. You know, but empathy ni ile unaenda kwa details. Unasema na ulipeleka garage wakasema aje. You know, being concerned. Ukiwa kabisa umejihusisha na huyo mtu. So listening gives birth to a lot. Gives birth to understanding, empathy, sympathy. But kama utaki kusikiza, you already have solutions in your mind. Yani uko ready to also speak back. But listening is important.
Na pia tumesema si listening ya duko tunasema okay.
Wale watu wacha kwa simu waseme kidogo kusema hello bado huko.
Unaona, I'm like hi sasa poa, I just came back from home I did this okay, see you. You see also that one does not make someone feel good.
At
least kukwena
ni kama kublutikiwa ukitext.
That is the right word. Hiyo ni blue tick.
Msikize. Communicate.
Please communicate.
Yes. Nancy also says, unsure of the reaction of the recipient of the message makes it difficult to communicate. And that's exactly what you are saying. Yani the fear of the reaction. Yani ujui mtu atakufanyia nini ukishamwambia ukweli. But in the real sense, I believe there is also freedom. Nsemanga the truth shall set you free. Hiyo kitu ukiitoa, uitoa vizuri, enye communicate, express in the right channel, because it is necessary to express. Hizo ndio conditions. Ni necessary kusema hii kitu. Ni necessary ni kuelezea hii kitu. Na ni necessary mimi hii kitu nimeibeba sana. It is also very necessary to express it. That will set you free. And that needs you to master courage.
And also I think also a lot of wisdom is in the Bible. Just reading the word of God, inakuwa easy even for you to learn how to respond to such communication. Bisa zingine pia tunaongeanga tu because we do not know. But when also you read the word of God, and then there's so much wisdom in here for handling communication. There's a way God also expects us to communication. Let me read the book of Proverbs 15, chapter 1, that says, a soft answer turns away wrath, but a harsh word stirs up anger. Unaona. So when you're communicating, how you respond ina matter sana. Unaona. There's a clip I was watching, and this lady, I think they were couples. So huyu mmoja alikuwa anajaribu kuitisha, the lady was correcting the husband about a certain character kwa nyumba. So she comes and says, I found that to be very interesting. Babe, I don't like mbona umetoa I don't like venye umeka socks hapa chini, ukikuja unatoa hii socks tuneka pale. Sawa? Sawa. Then the hubby was like, oh okay, I'm sorry. But you see alikuja in a soft way. Sasa nao acha pia answer ya the hubby pia ikakuwa pia soft, ika bring out peace. But imagine kama the wife angekuja seme, mbona kazi yako ni kurusha rusha, I'm not appreciated in this house. Nikiziokota nini oje zikae hapo.
The man will walk out.
And then he'll be like, I'm the one who pays the bills in this house. I'm the man of this house. That house will be on fire. Yeah. So how you even communicate is very, very, very important. Very important.
Yes. Very important. Tumesema the carrier of the information is everything. Hiyo ndio tunaita communication. Uko na kweli yako, lakini vile unaipackage hiyo ndio communication sasa.
Sio kuchokora hasira kwa mtu.
Sio kuchokora. Ukimrushia kama mawe itamuumiza. Ukimpea kama zawadi pole ataipokea. It depends with how unaipackage. Hiyo kitu nenda kusema umeiweka aje. Yeah, and also as we continue, I think there is something else about we were talking about it. It's a term that we have been using. It's on kama slang hivi. In English, tunaitanga gaslighting. And we were talking about gaslighting as something that makes communication difficult.
Kuchocha.
Kuchocha. I think that's the best way. But to define deeper, an instance of gaslighting ni mtu anakuongelesha, but anafanya question hata wewe vitu
venye uko
ama vitu venye unaona vitu. Yani atakuangalia akuulize, yani they will question even like if you are in a scenario, uone gari imegongwa ama uone huyu ametusi huyu mwingine, anaweza kuja kuuliza, wewe kweli ulisikia matusi yoyote hapo? Yani anaweza fanya ushangae, kwani ninadanganya? Ushajishuku. And that is a problem with communication that people do. They manipulate you. Wana kufanya akili yako ikae ni kama haifanyi kazi vizuri. Yani ni kama hauko sawa, ni kama unaongea out of confusion ama anger, but in the real sense you're saying the truth. You're saying what really happened. You're saying what you really saw, but they make you even doubt yourself.
Master that art.
It's an
and
art.
You know, hata even in friendship kuna watu wanakujanga, this is your best friend. Unasikia amekuja na kwamba hebu nikuulize, huyo Mary anakuanga hivyo, and you're like, well, I have known her since childhood. Nakwambia, hapana, mimi simuoni vizuri. Then you'll ask why. Then hata unaanza kufikiria, by the way,
unaanza juzi. Kumbe ilikuwa hiyo. Yani they just torture you, they gaslight you, they pump you with
kabisa.
So sasa ile mtu ataasha kiberiti, pia nawe unawaka na ulikuwa sawa. So I think that also makes communication difficult. Even in an argument between two people, anaweza kugaslight, akuweke to steam, akuweke pressure. Wewe hata unafaa kujiuliza, mbona unavanga nguo hivyo? Unakuanga na shida gani?
Anaweza kujichuku.
Unazichuku ni nguo zangu
ziko na shida gani?
Yeah, and that is still in communication. So it will make it difficult because you're trying to suffice as the person who has not done wrong, but in the real sense you're the wrongdoer.
Unaona huwa wanatu kama wanajitetea sana, and some wengine wanakujanga hata in form of good friends, wanaleta good vibes and everything, lakini ukikaa vizuri usikize that communication. Apart from it being a communication, there is a kachocha behind it. So watu wakishatoka unaanza kujiuliza, how comes I have never seen this other part of this story or of this person? Even could doubt the person that you've trusted.
And some people sometimes praise you. They praise you and say, and then inside they put something funny inside. They contradict you immediately, or they embarrass you immediately, or say something very shameful about you. And that's gaslighting, because they
on the other hand mko mnacheka kidogo, mmeshakasirikiana,
ameshasema kitu itakushangaza. So uko in a dilemma where this person really is. And that is what you are calling gaslighting. And if you know people like that, tell them wanakuchocha wawache.
Tuko tunasema, for example, kama I like using a marriage as an example. The couples mnaongea maybe I talk about my mom, about something, and then your spouse says something about your mom, and like, no.
You know, that's my mom you're talking about.
Yeah, the whole conversation now changes. Asira inaanza, and then now the story changes from what it started. Now imeanza ya kugeuka sasa.
Inakuwa sasa inabidi yeye ameapologize for saying some truth.
Na haikuwa end up hivyo. So bado ukicommunicate, also you have to know those keys. Unajua unaongea haje, so unaongea tu for. Alafu pia also know the people you are listening to. There are conversations that you need to know. Are you entertaining such or not? Lazima kuwe na hizo boundaries that tumesema. Don't entertain conversations zenye unajua vizuri. Do you know sometimes unaweza kuwa mko mahali, you're just having a very simple conversation, but you leave that place hurt, bleeding, and even regretting why in the first place you went, or why in the first place you allowed it. Because sometimes we allow. Yeah. Our conversation starts.
We enable people to speak to us.
Yes. And you know very well, this one is not heading in the right place. But unaenda tu kusikiza. Unasikiza knowing it's not right. Unaenda mahali pabaya. So I think where there needs to be put a stop. Sema tusiongelele hiyo. Tusiende huko. Wacha ikae ifikia hapo. To avoid so much.
Yeah, I think another thing that makes communication difficult is trauma. Yani, you see people who are traumatized or kitu ilimfanyikia kitambo of such a kind.
Inakuwa iko ndani yako. Like some of us, you know, our lifestyle is a result ya trauma yenye tulipitia tukiwa wadogo. The words that were spoken in our lives, whether positive or negative. In one way or another, kuna venye imetufanya tukakuwa venye tuko.
And I think it affects communication in this way that sasa if let's say something happens and you as a wife or a partner, you're quiet, amuongeleshani mnafanya your silent treatment, the one Nancy was talking about. And to you, when you are growing up, when silent treatment happened in your house, one person, maybe your father would leave and disappear for like 5 months, then come back later. So in your mind, when your partner keeps quiet on you, then you will think, okay, one person is about to go now. So let me be the first one. Let me just watch nieke vitu zangu mapema. Because me, since I was a child, that's what I have been seeing growing up. Like I've been conditioned to that. So in my mind, when people keep quiet in a house, when there is tension, you just pack your things and go.
Unajua hapa.
Jua umejifunza hivyo tangu kuwe mtoto. Ama umefunzwa, mtu akikukasirisha unamrushia maneno kwa sababu tangu kuwa mdogo pia nyinyi mkikasirishana kwa nyumba mnarushiana maneno. So trauma can always affect your communication. And that's why we urge people and we talk to people and we tell you to heal from your past, to heal from the things that you were taught that were wrong, to heal from things that show up in your life that it doesn't have to turn out the way it used to turn out kitambo.
When you are young.
You can change it. You have the power to change it. You have the ability to change it.
Very true.
So it is important to notice your triggers, notice higher. This is the kind of marriage I grew up in, or this is the kind of house I grew up in, but this is the kind of house I want to raise for my children. And this is what I want to work on in me so that my children don't have to go through that. So it is important to deal with trauma so that you can also learn how to communicate in different scenarios where vitu kama hizo zina show up.
Hata tunaona hata tukiwa wadogo unapata maybe mtu anataka kusema kitu na nyamaza. You want to express yourself na nyamaza. So because ulikuwa umezoea kuambiwa nyamaza, even when you want to speak out something, now when ukishakuwa mkubwa
you become
unanyamaza. You cannot even be
up things.
Yes. Unanyamazia because ukiwa mdogo ulikuwa unaambiwa nyamaza. You'd be told watu wakubwa kiongea nyamaza. So you see, even when you are assaulted when you are young, or tumekuwa tunaongea trauma, even the rape, physical assaults, inakuwa very hard to speak of them because ulikuwa unaambiwa nyamaza. So unashindwa. Na sasa ukiambiwa unyamaze, hauko unaambiwa at what point you're supposed to speak. So kila saa unaambiwa tu nyamaza. Watu wakikuwa nyamaza, visitors wakiwa nyamaza, when you're in school nyamaza, everywhere nyamaza. Now when you grow up, you know it is not right to speak. So when you're even assaulted and such, that's when unapata mtu anaingia into depression. People who go through depression is this lack of communication. When they were young, they were not able kupatiwa chance ya communicate, whether to their parents, their siblings. Me, I remember tulikuwa tunaambiwa nyamaza, mtu mkubwa kiongea unanyamaza. If you have an elder sister or an elder brother, unaambiwa nyamaza because ni mkubwa wako akiongea nyamaza. So now you don't know when you're supposed to speak because you have been young. You know, my son always tells me he doesn't want to be young anymore. And why is everyone born before me? Because wewe uko mdogo. Sasa at what point utawahi ongea unless wale wadogo, na wezi ambia wadogo trauma yako.
And that is true. And you know, we are not saying that these people taught you that juu ni kitu kwa ubaya. They were teaching you how to respect.
Yes.
I think I have an instance, Misha, I never get personal. But Mimi, when I was growing up, my dad used to refuse for us to go to the kitchen. Said, kuna visu, kuna vitu moto, mtachomeka. So that's how we grew up. Of course, we never used to go to the... Anyway, girls, we never used to go to mtachomeka. He was being protective of us. So I had to learn how to cook. We had to learn how to cook when you're older. Yes. When you're older. Tukiwa campus, nini. Because tukiwa kwa nyumba, tulikuwa tunaambiwa msiende jikoni, huko kuna visu, kuna maji moto huko zinaweza na ni kweli mimi sikuwahi chomeka nikiwa mtoto ama nikiwa those funny accidents.
So he was just being cautious as a parent.
But in the real sense, we never got now the chance to learn how to cook. So we had to learn that you can be careful in the kitchen, but at the same time you can also cook. So it is not out of a bad place, but there are gaps that were left that you need as an adult to work on.
Very true.
And you need to work on it because it will show up in different ways. So even me, it had to show up in different things that I could not cook. So I had to go and learn how to make them.
By yourself.
Yes, by myself. So if you have traumas of communication, or if someone shouts at you and you shut down, you need to learn how to deal with that as well and say, excuse me, sir, please don't shout at me. We can speak in this level, because you maybe shouting scares you, or maybe the last person that abused you, like beat you up, shouted at you. So when someone shouts at you shut down, and that affects
the next minute ni kupigwa.
Unajua unaenda kupigwa, labda utaanza kupigana. So in the real sense, you need to heal from those things. You need to deal with those things so that you can learn how to communicate, effectively communicate.
If you need to see a therapist, please do.
They're expensive, so I hope you have
They're
saved.
very expensive, yes, very expensive. But again, you see, sometimes you cannot even heal on your own. You need someone to talk to. Find someone that you can trust also and talk to, and let them know how you are going through. You might get help.
You will actually get help. Because if you're ready to they say penyenia pananja. Ukitaka kama uko willing to get better, you will there will be definitely a way for you to get better. And another thing that makes
so even as parents, I think when you are raising our kids, I think if you've gone through a trauma when you are young, I think it's also your time to also work on it so that your kids don't go through that.
We will have a session and talk about trauma and even call someone a mental champion now to deal with mental health issues, because it is important to talk about them, because I've realized we need to heal
very much. People have a lot of childhood traumas.
People have a lot of things, and they usually say even if you grew in the same house, your childhood was not the same.
No,
whatever you went through as a child is not whatever your sibling went through as a child. So you say, juu yako sawa, pia mimi nitagrow up nikwe sawa. So we have to. We will do that to make on our notes,
because people need healing, because unfortunately some of us those traumas have made us who we are right now.
They have even conditioned us to
be the people that you are.
Some of us maybe are introverts and are not supposed to be introverts. Some of us are extroverts and maybe we are supposed to be.
Rudi kwa nyumba. Nisikupate nje.
True.
So when you grow up, you know, mimi nafaa kukaa kwa nyumba, sifai kutoka nje. So
you didn't know maybe your energy comes from fellowshipping with people. But sasa wewe umejifungia all your life, you've looked for other channels of refreshing yourself, and maybe you actually make a crowd very happy, but you never know, because some things have made you
just huko na ungekuwa ukwe hivyo.
I think something else that makes communication difficult is the bringing up of past mistakes. yani nakuongelesha
mambo tu za kale
naanza kumbe unajua hata mishi ile siku nilikununulia nini ulifanya nisikie nini so you bring out I think also that is a form of emotional abuse.
And I was saying like I think right now the way the things are right now, the economy, the harsh economy all over, people are really trying to make ends meet here and there. So we are talking with my friend the other day and saying right now people are just it's like a little trigger, mtu analipuka. I remember there's a guy whom we found shouting. That guy was so bitter. Alikuwa amekasirika sana, by the way. And the funny thing is he had bought some food for a friend. He ended up saying, "Nirudishe pesa yangu yenye umekula lunch." Yeah, it's like, and then so people are around asking what happened. Like, this person hurt me so much. This person hurt me, and he said something very funny. My children and my children's children, we have drawn an enmity line to be like snake and binadamu. That is how the hatred is.
Kasi ya Mungu.
Yeah, you see, because you wonder, kwani what is it that this person did that you cannot forgive? Like, apana. Watoto wake na wangu, even if I die today, kutakuwa na hiyo enmity. Unaona? So for me, like, nilikuwa namwambia, you cannot even put kids to the things that you people disagree. But since it's unfortunately hapo ndo tuko. Hapo ndo because mtu past mistake kidogo tu hivi inamtrigger kublow out. Because that is unforgiveness.
Unapata shida iko huko ilifanyika like 2001.
Yeah.
But sasa kitu kimkasirisha kesho hata upate I don't know, something just annoys them, something so little as maybe sasa chakula kuisha or something inarudisha ile kitambo. I think that is also a matter of healing. But pia ya ku bring out yani past mistakes, I like, especially for partners who are married, you last time you even did this to me, now you're even doing this to me, even the other day you also did this to me. You know, that is, I feel like that is, especially if there are things that were already dealt with. Yani
muliongea mkamaliza
apologize, mkamaliza, you were done, and then someone brings it up again and again and again. That is emotional abuse, because you're literally making this person wonder, now what do I do?
So kama ile siku samewe, otherwise acha hapa tutasolve nini?
Hapa tunasema nini? Kama ile nyingine amekumbuka ama like si tulimaliza hiyo, hatujamaliza hiyo bado. Bado we have to no. I believe when the Bible says forgiving and forgetting, it means even when you remember at this point, forgive again. Even when you remember this time,
keep on forgiving.
Even when you remember, ikikuja tena forgive. That is what it means, forgiving and forget. It is not normal sometimes.
Don't go to bed in anger.
Sometimes it's not normal to forgive completely. I will never remember. The point is, even when you remember, you forgive again, because it is 70 times 77 times. It never stops. And if it's not going now, heal, because you have not healed.
Your part here, healing and forgiveness is very, very important in communication.
Healing does not happen in a straight line. There are cycles. Sometimes you find yourself going back to that pain. Then you remind yourself,
I forgive.
Lord reminds you, this one you forgive. Then you move on again, then you remember again, then as it will fade away, it will go as it fades. But if it's pain that is very undealt with, please deal with it. It is important to deal with it. Tumesema communication is not just with your person or the person next to you, it is with God, and it is even within yourself. Yes. Please keep talking to us and tell us something. Tell us why you think communication is important and what makes it difficult.
I also read the book of Proverbs 15, chapter 2. It says that the tongue of the wise uses knowledge rightly, but the mouth of fools pour forth foolishness. So I think this is you need to, as you tukimaliza hii show, nenda kujiulize, does your tongue, is your tongue are you a wise person? Is your tongue are you a wise person? Does it use knowledge rightly? Ama, are you the fool? Your mouth is the foolish mouth that pours foolishness. Uende ukijiuliza hivyo. When tumesema you need to speak salt. Do your words carry salt? Do they have taste?
And I think just to think about it in a different perspective, fools are baseless. They have no foundation. Hata ule fool alijenga nyumba yake kwa mchanga na ikabomoka. So whatever you say and you speak foolishness, then you are speaking things that look like that house, that they cannot stand, that they have no foundation, that zinakatu hivi zianguke. They cannot even hold water.
Very true.
But if you speak wisdom, if you are wise and you speak what is wise, you have your words are firm. They have a firm foundation, and there's nothing as firm as the word of God.
Very true.
And that is full of grace and full of salt, as Mish is saying. So ni muhimu sana angalia maneno yako.
Maneno unasema. Biblia inatuambia, so wewe mwenyewe utajua, are you a foolish? Are you uko hiyo part ya foolishness? Because again it says it's only a foolish who delights in not listening. He only delights in expressing what is in his heart. Hataki kusikiza yeye, anataka kusema point yangu ndio ya maana.
Mimi ndio ya maana. And we've not even talked about those people who prescribe. I know sometimes it's easy to sikiza mtu tu dakika mbili alafu umwambie si uende ukanini kwa kina nani wanakuna nice
answer kila kitu.
Unaona prescription. And I think it's always also, it's a weakness even for those who like helping. People who just want to help someone, wanajipata washamwambia what to do. But we were joking with you and you're saying husbands are always answering things logically. Ukimwambia leo nimechoka, hata ningechelewa town, anakuambia itabidi umelala mapema, umeamka mapema, and you just want someone to tell you ulipatikana na jam, umechoka, ulitembea sana, ama mlingoja gari sana. You just want someone to ask you that. But a husband, a man in their nature, or even a male friend will tell you, you wake up early. When you wake up early, you won't find jam. They solve all your problems so practically, logically, and then you're done. And you sometimes just want emotional support. So it is also important to learn when someone needs support and when someone needs help, because sometimes someone just needs support and help. So inakaa sasa hiyo kuprescribe wenye daktari kunywa hii mara 3 kwa siku. Sasa
na kuna ile atakwambia ulikula unakula nini before they even prescribe
for you. Make sure unafanya hivi, ama don't miss your meals. It is important for you to rest, you know. But now when you prescribe and tell them do this and this and this and this and this, so it is always important to know if a situation needs support or help. Tujue tofauti kati ya hizo mbili.
They say you cannot go to someone who is hungry, ajakula chakula, and then unambia let's close our eyes and pray.
Sasa hiyo ni kusupport. Sasa how do you support someone is like?
Yes, you can always pray, but again ukitoka unamwacha at least kaunga abaki akipika chakula.
Very important. So yes, that is most of it's about communication.
So, please let us know hapo kwa chat if you have a question, uliza on the next shot. Make sure tumejibu hayo maswali, and we'll go through all those comments also. Please keep on engaging us. Share to your Facebook, share to your friends.
And I hope you have learned a thing or two, remembered a thing or two, and tried to practice a thing or two.
Very true.
So remember to listen, remember to communicate, remember to speak wisdom.
Remember to speak wisdom. Remember to make sure that your words are full of grace and salt. Don't just speak, and also speak the right word, also the right time. Know when to be silent, know when to speak. Let your silent be intentional, be na sababu. Siku kunyamaza tu watu juu kwa nini umenyamaza. You chose to keep quiet.
Kuna mwalimu wangu alikuwa anasema verbal diarrhea. Yani unatoa tu maneno mingi.
But there are people who speak non-stop. You know that?
Like, so kidogo umalize umulize, so what was your point?
Let me finish.
Yes, yes.
They don't allow you to speak.
Yes, from Ina Nduku says, wow, speak the words that are full of wisdom and grace. Very important. Thank you, ladies. Thank you so much for tuning in. We are really happy and blessed to have all of you.
Yes.
Yes, and I hope we women, we've been told we have 25,000 words a day.
Yes.
Yeah, we are told this is in the mob. But I believe even in our speech we can still give. Kuna verse sijui hatujasoma ilikuwa inasema it imparts grace to the hearers. Yeah, that your speech can impart grace to the ones that are listening to you.
Very true. So however, hata kama utaongea maneno 1,000,
uko na more opportunities to bless.
Mwanzo kama uko na maneno 1,000, uko na hiyo unaweza bless sana watu because at least your words ziko na wisdom na ziko na baraka. So even as you speak 1,000 words, just weigh your words first kabla hujasema. Tusiko tu watu wa kusema. Remember, you, my friend, you are the woman of excellence.
Yes.
So have a lovely evening. See you next time.
Good night.
Good night.
Shalom, 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 wonderful servants of God. I am Apostle Mike Isare from Malawi Remnant Church of Jesus. I am on my way coming to Kenya, and from 22 of April, I will be with you ministering at Rama. I know you are getting ready for the Passover conference, and again I will be at JPC, that's Jesus Prevails Church. I want you to get ready. I want you to invite friends, because the Lord is set to bless His people in this wonderful year. God bless you, and God bless you, servants of God. I love you. Thank you so much.
Die, die, new, die, die, new, die, die, new, die, new, die, new, die, new, die, die, new.
Shalom.